Heartbreak Boulevard will take you for a ride and mess you up inside. Hey, it's your good friend, it's your pal, it's your compadre. It's TC, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the big show. It is Rock This Town Live, and we are hanging out here on a Tuesday, July 28th, 2025. Having a good time all the time, as Viv Savage used to say from the great movie from 1983 called Spinal Tap. We are here every Monday through Friday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time Zone, 5 on the West Coast. If you're, I don't know what time would that be, about 1 a.m., I guess, in London, and tomorrow in Tokyo. There you go. Cool. What's going on the big show today? Well, we're talking about Ozzy's funeral because plans have been made. There'll be a processional coming up tomorrow in Birmingham to honor Ozzy. Also talking a little, Ozzy actually made the Billboard Hot 100 this week. A couple of songs, 2 songs actually, on the Billboard Hot 100. We'll talk a little Metallica. We'll talk a little System of a Down, a little David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. All the good stuff and plenty more awaits you. Oh, and then my vinyl of the day. See if you can figure it out from the back of the album cover. It's a little close, but you might be able to get it. So that is the vinyl of the day coming up in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I love to relive the past. And does it get any better than Judas Priest in 1986 on the Turbo Tour with Bon Jovi opening? This was the first leg of the tour. I think this was like the 4th or 5th show that Bon Jovi was doing after Slippery When Wet came out. Obviously, Slippery When Wet had kind of right out of the box with You Give Love a Bad Name and kind of blowing up a little bit. Well, what am I saying? It blew up quite a bit, but still, Bon Jovi, it's like, well, we'll see what happens. So they go out on the Priest tour, which was probably scheduled. They played Winnipeg on, Saturday, July 19th. And then they ended up going on the 38 special tour for the second leg. And then by the time that tour was ending, the album had hit #1 and the rest is history. So there you go. I would have actually loved to have seen the show because that was great. I actually saw Bon Jovi open for 38 special. Unfortunately, me and my buddy were tremendously sick that night. And so we just ended up staying for Bon Jovi, all due respect to 38 special, which is a good band. But, if it would have been Priest and Bon Jovi, we probably would have stayed for Judas Priest. But that's the way it goes, right? So there you go. I'm going to actually find the set list from the show from Bon Jovi. So here's the set list of that night in Canada. They only did 8 songs. 8 songs. Man, Judas Priest was a little tight with the time there. What is that? Maybe 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. The set list was Raise Your Hands, Get Ready. I don't even know that song. What? You Give Love a Bad Name. All right, very cool. Let It Rock. Nice. The guitar solo, a drum solo, In and Out of Love, and then Runaway. What? I feel kind of ripped off on that set list if this is completely accurate. We'll see. I'm getting it from Setlist FM, but I don't know. That's a pretty short set list. And a guitar solo and a drum solo, if you're an opening act, what in God's name is going on there? So I don't know. No Living on a Prayer, no Wanted Dead or Alive. I guess they just didn't anticipate that album blowing up so big. By the way, if you're curious on the Judas Priest set list, let me find that for you here really quick. They played 19 songs. So, of course, they were the headliners, including, they opened with Out in the Cold, Locked In. I do love that song. I actually heard Locked In today on, I think it might have been Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius XM. Very nice. They did Love Bites. Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, one of my favorite Priest songs. Private Property. I did love that song from Turbo as well. Turbo Lover, Free Will Burnin', The Green Metallic, Living After Midnight, Hellbent for Leather, You Got Another Thing Coming. So that was kind of the set list for that show. So I don't know. A pretty cool set list. The Bon Jovi set list was a little sketch. But I should see if on other dates of that tour, if they played some, let's see, they played Olympic Saddle Dome. Yeah, it was just a really, those opening, man, Judas Priest was kind of screwing Bon Jovi in some ways. No pun intended. I don't know why I said that, but yeah. So that was not so good, but it's kind of cool there. So, all right, cool. I'm going to say hello to some Estes is here, hanging out. Very nice. Mark, very good. Good to see you. Tito is hanging out as well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to some Ozzy news. So this is a daily rock and kind of a little bit metal show, but mostly rock, anything from the rock world, which obviously includes metal. As Ozzy would say, maybe I should say it, a daily heavy music show, because that's what Ozzy always called his music. So I kind of like that. A daily heavy music show. And mixing all kinds of genres, whether it's some 70s Fleetwood Mac or Zeppelin or Queen. Oh, 80s Queen, I think, is better. And then the 80s were just killer. Even the pop music in the 80s was killer. 90s rock was great. 2000s rock was great. So that's what you're going to get on the show here today. Anyways, funeral tomorrow for Ozzy Osbourne. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Thanks for hanging out. Funeral procession to be held in Birmingham on Wednesday. So I guess by the time you get up, I think it starts at 1 p.m. Yeah, 1 p.m. That's what it says there. So I guess that would be 8 hours difference for me. So that would start at like 5 a.m. So by the time I'm wiping the cobwebs off, I'm like Macaulay Culkin waking up in Home Alone, or maybe in Uncle Buck. And the procession will probably be going on and over. The hearse will slowly make its way down Broad Street in Birmingham from 1 p.m. to the Black Sabbath Bridge and the bench. So I guess we'll potentially learn more. We haven't learned that much about Ozzy's passing, a cause of death, though it would seem to be, if you had to guess, unfortunately, because that's what life is, a heart attack or a stroke, unfortunately, a massive stroke for Ozzy, but because it seems like it was very sudden. So I've been listening to a lot more Ozzy these days, and don't know what you got till it's gone, as Tom Kiefer and Cinderella once sang. That Osmosis record is really damn good. It is really good. So there you go. And congratulations to Ozzy postmortem. He actually made the Billboard Hot 100 this week. So he's at number 46 with Crazy Train. So that's the first time that's ever been on the charts. Crazy Train never charted back in the day when it was first released. And then he's just ahead of Doechii. Of course, you're a big fan of Doechii, no doubt. Yes, no? And then Tyler, the Creator, with Sucker Free. All right, Tyler, very nice. And then Mama, I'm Coming Home also re-enters the chart. So only 2 songs re-enter the chart. Actually, if you look at the Spotify top 50 from this past weekend, there was like 3 or 4 Ozzy songs. There was 3 or 4 Black Sabbath songs. So I don't know. Billboard magazine, I don't really trust it anymore. The way they do the charts and stuff, I just don't get it. Hey, Santiago, how you doing? So this comes from our friend Mitch LaFon, who is a music journalist and is on Facebook and many of the other social media platforms. And he was sent this. Now, whether this is legit or not, I guess we shall see. But he posted this because it was sent. Don't know if it's real. I guess somebody could have faked it. I mean, we live in a world where not only AI can do amazing things, but there's something called Adobe Photoshop that's been around for quite some time that can make it look like it's real. So take this for what it's worth. We'll see if it comes to pass in the future here. But yeah, a little promo for Metallica live at the Sphere in October 2026. But once again, it's just an image. There's been no official announcement, but I'm kind of excited for this potentially. I think it's pretty cool. I know Leopard is going to be playing in 2026. They're doing a Caesars Palace residency, so there's starting to be some residencies announced. And Metallica tend to announce their tour dates well in advance of the actual date. Like AC/DC, not much lead time on some of those shows, but Metallica will announce stuff a year in advance. So this kind of fits with the modus operandi of James, Kirk, and Lars and Robert. So I don't know. Kind of cool in my humble opinion. So System of a Down haven't put out an album in 20 years. And the drummer for the band, John Dolmayan, was on a podcast recently, and he says he has the secret sauce for a new album. And it's kind of funny when you think about it. He says he told Darren McLaughlin, the guitarist in that wonderful band called System of a Down, to bring in your songs last. So basically, Serge Tankian ideas are heard first, because there's a little bit of an ego thing going on. He says he wanted Serge to bring in his ideas first, and then I can't remember the bass player's name, and it's escaping me. I should know it because he's a really cool dude. But the bass player needs to bring his stuff in, and then Darren can bring his stuff in last. So I guess that's the key to a potential new System of a Down record. One of the things that was kind of amazing to me was that System of a Down sold like hotcakes in our store. It just, that record, Toxicity, and I get it, it's a great record produced by Rick Rubin. We sold the hell out of that. That was like one of the top 10 selling records in the history of the record store when we had the record store. So I don't know, kind of cool there. That's all I got on that one. So I'm going to keep moving, man. I'm going to keep moving. I've got a 90s hair metal list coming up after this important break. That's right. The important break is Jerry the Giraffe. Hello, Jerry the Giraffe. How you doing, Jerry? If you want to join the show and you want to show off some of your grails, whether they're mean something special to you, whether they're high value, whether they're extremely rare, boom, I'm actually going to talk about some extremely rare records here pretty quick. Shoot me an email, tc@heytc.com or tc@rockthistownrecords.com. So there you go. All right, 90s hair metal. So this is something, a list I put together maybe about a month ago, and I wanted to rehash it because the show is new. We're in the second week of the show, and I thought, what were like great 90s hair metal albums that quote unquote came out, or 80s bands that got lumped in, in hair metal, but we'll embrace the term. What the hell? Why not? Right? What are some of the best albums that came out in the 90s? So here's my list. I got Three Sides to Every Story by Extreme. Of course, that had, what was it? Don't Tread on Me? No, it wasn't. What's the song off that record? But I can hear it in my head, but I can't think of it. Anyways, there was one big song off that record. A great record overall. So there you go. Bite Down Hard by Brittany Fox. I know we had that in the store once or twice. It's out of print. It actually, I think, was re-released maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And we got a copy in that I know Tom picked up, one of our local favorites. Tom picked that up. Slaughter the Wildlife was a great record. And then my top 10. You can argue with me on your top 10. If you have a record that from the 90s that kind of fits that hair metal mode a little bit, I'd love to hear what your favorite record was back then, potentially. Whether that's one of these records or another record that I potentially forgot on the list. So there you go. You can leave it in the comment in the chat or in the comment section, ironically. So there you go. Number 10, I got Still Climbing by Cinderella. I don't know that record that well, but Jen says that is an amazing record. And the more I listen to Cinderella, the more I love Cinderella. The blues man, Tom Kiefer, man, the guy can play the blues, and he's on tour right now. So very cool. Number 9, Lean Into It by Mr. Big. Of course, you got Paul Gilbert on guitar. You got Billy Sheehan on the bass. Beautiful record. Hold Your Fire by Firehouse. I think this is an underrated record of an underrated band. That first Firehouse record, when it got reissued, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year, actually. We sold the hell out of that thing. It was amazing. It was like one of the 10 best-selling records in the store last year. So Firehouse, a very underrated band, in my humble opinion. Number 9, Dog Eat Dog. Once again, a very heavy record from Warren. I've talked about that on the show quite a bit. Number 6, I actually just started listening to Vince Neil's Exposed record. And I got to say, that's a damn good record. We never saw that walk into the store, unfortunately. It turns out Sandy, who worked in the store, she actually had a copy on vinyl from back in the day. It's one of those rare records that's $200, $300, $400, $500, depending on the condition that you find. But Sandy had a copy of it, but she did not have a copy of it anymore when I asked her about it one day. She says, yeah, I used to have a copy of that. Of course you did, Sandy, because you had a copy of everything. She got like 4 copies of Buckingham Nicks. I'm like giving her a hard time about that. So there you go. Number 5, Screw It by Danger Danger. Great record. That's a record that Jen is in search of. Jen wants to add that to our collection. So very nice. I could have put Here on there from Trickster, but I did not. And that's actually getting repressed on vinyl for the first time in 35 years. So if you're a Trickster fan, that's to come. Oh, Psychotic Supper. I love this record. It is so good. It is one of the albums that I just burned through completely. I burned through the Guns N' Roses records, Use Your Illusion back in the day, the Don Henley record, End of the Innocence, Psychotic Supper. I used to play like Super Mario Brothers a lot. I borrowed the console from a friend who just wasn't using it anymore. And I was just like, I've never really played Super Mario Brothers. And it's like, boom, I'm going to play the hell out of this, and I'm going to listen to Psychotic Supper by Tesla over and over and over again. So there's kind of nothing better than playing a video game and listening to some great music. Well, I mean, think of a couple things that would be better. A little bit of the hippity dippity, of course, but we won't go there. At least not for the moment until we get to one of the vinyls coming out that just got announced. Yeah, okay. I'll tell that story in a second. Hey, thanks for checking in. Mike is here. Very nice. And Mike mentions Enough's Enough. Enough's Enough was a great record, and Enough's Enough just put out a record, a new record, Extra Cherry. So very cool. And Richard mentions Steel Heart self-titled. That is a great record. That is a really, really good record. Very nice. And Tito mentions Neil as well. But there you go. And yes, you missed. Yes, Tito. I concur. I blew it on that one. Jen would be mad at me about that one. I forgot to put Trickster's 1990 record here, and that's getting repressed though. So that's super exciting. I had a photo of PJ Farley of Trickster actually signing copies of it. It's going to be on red and blue vinyl, and hopefully it'll be announced here in the coming month or so, if not sooner. Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. Once again, one of those bands that just kept getting heavier and heavier, like Warranted, which is super cool. Pull, I think, is an underrated record. Now, I know everybody gives Winger shit. Excuse my French there. But everybody gives Winger a hard time. But this was a really good record. I love the song Down Incognito. If you ever want to do any homework, add that to your Spotify or Amazon or Apple playlist. It is fantastic. Down Incognito from the Pull record by Winger. And it was produced by the great engineer Mike Shipley, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. And then number one, I had to put number one there. John Corabi. It's such a great record. Hooligan's Holiday. Is Hooligan's Holiday one of the top 5 greatest songs in the history of Motley Crue? I would say yes. I mean, Primal Scream set the table, and then of course Vince left, and then boom, 94 came out from Motley Crue, a record that's never been repressed. I don't know if it's ever going to be repressed. Well, Buckingham Nicks is getting repressed, so hell has frozen over, so you never know. But yeah, Motley Crue 94, and Tito also mentioned that as well, because it is a fantastic. It was a fantastic record. Mike says, Danger Danger was repressed in the past couple of years. I nabbed it. Very nice. But you have Screw It by Danger Danger. That's the one that's really hard to find. That's one with the little monkey swinging on the cover or whatever. So I think we called them Monkey 3 back in the day. So, Mike also mentioned Salty Dog. That is a good find as well. So there you go. And Richard says the Down Incognito video was filmed in Tucson. So nice. Is that you in the video, Richard? You're like poking out from around the from around one of the buildings. Speaking of Arizona, I watched Sicario yesterday. That's such a great movie. I've kind of come to love Josh Brolin, at least in 2 movies, Sicario and No Country for Old Men. Those 2 movies are standing the test of time. So if you've never seen No Country for Old Men, it is fantastic. I love Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh, and then in Sicario, Emily Blunt is in it, and she is fantastic in it. And then also Benicio del Toro is so damn good in it. Sicario, it means hitman, I found out. So, but anyways, 2 great movies. If you're looking for some movies to check out there. So there you go. Cool. Promised Land by Queensryche. Yeah, but were they really kind of hair? They weren't really, Motley Crue being put in the hair metal thing is a little sketch, in my humble opinion, but I didn't include Queensryche because I didn't feel that they were, quote unquote, they didn't get fully lumped into the hair metal thing going on. You know, Jeff Tate had that straight hair. Some of the guys, I guess, had the hair, but you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Power to the Music is my fave. Tito says, yes, very nice indeed. So there you go. That's my top 10 hair metal albums of the 90s that came out in the 90s. Obviously, all in the early 90s. I should do a late 90s because I'm sure there was some good stuff, but by that time, a lot of those bands had kind of had their 7-year run and they were gone. Most bands, you know, when you look at most artists, they maybe get 7 years if they're successful, and then after that, you know, they put out albums, and you know, it is what it is, right? So look at Leopard, you know, they had 81 to 88, I guess. They had, you know, High and Dry, and then they had Hysteria, Pyromania, and then they had what am I thinking of? What am I missing? Oh, Hysteria. I just said that. Bon Jovi, same thing. You know, Boom. And I know that some of the early stuff is really good too, but I'm saying as far as popularity goes, Bon Jovi hits in 86, and by the time you get to 93, they're kind of off the radio, other than an occasional hit here and there. So there you go. New vinyl coming out. I thought this was pretty cool. 23 live tracks, Luck and the Strange Tour on 4 LPs. I know one of our local favorites went and saw it. Oh, I'm mind blanking on his name at the moment. I can see you, but I'm mind blanking. He went and saw at the Hollywood Bowl, I think it was. David Gilmour. Anyways, 23 live tracks, 4 LPs, 2 double gatefolds housed in a slipcase. So very nice packaging here. And of course, I had to spotlight the Pink Floyd stuff. He does actually, 7 or 8 Pink Floyd songs, which is super cool. Of course, Wish You Were Here. Very nice. Comfortably Numb, of course. And then Time. You know, Run Like Hell would have been amazing, but I get it. You know, Nick Mason really rocks on Run Like Hell. And obviously this was just a David Gilmour solo tour. So there you go. Very nice. But that comes out October 17th for $130. $130. Okay. I guess it is what it is, though. I know. I mean, David Gilmour hasn't released that many live records, and people love David Gilmour live. People love Pink Floyd live. So I'm sure our good friend Corey is going to want to pick this up, and a lot of other people, because Pink Floyd is such a great band. Oh, it was Larry who went and saw Pink Floyd or David Gilmour at the Hollywood Bowl. So there you go. Very nice. And Tito also mentions when I was talking about 90s records from quote unquote hair metal artists. I like to call it dance metal a little bit. You know, it's got a groove, baby. Mentions Main Attraction. Yes, that was a great record. Jen recommends that album. Indubitably, she would say. Indubitably, I recommend that record. All right, so here you go. I know you've been waiting for it all your life. The 50th anniversary on green bottle, or probably like a Coke bottle, clear green vinyl, a double LP of, wait for it, Fool for the City by Foghat. Includes, of course, Slow Ride and Fool for the City. Plus, I love the comments here by the press release. Incendiary. I'm sorry, Eddie Van Halen and Warren D. Martini are incendiary. I don't know if Foghat is incendiary in my humble opinion, but you know, whatever. Plus some previously live recordings from 1975. So yeah, there you go. I do remember Tough. Isn't Stevie Rochelle, who runs Sludge Bucket, Scum Bucket? No, Metal Sludge. That's what it is. He's kind of one of the guys, yes, but Tough was, band from Phoenix. I don't think Stevie Rochelle was from Phoenix, but he ended up, I think, living here in Phoenix. So very cool. And he has, I think, his own label. I think he republishes the Tough records. So there you go. Not too shabby. So I was thinking about Slow Ride. I never paid attention to it until recently. So I wanted to check out the lyrics of that song because I thought, is that really about what I think it's about? So let me tell you the first verse. The first verse is, I'm in the mood. The rhythm is right. Move to the music. We can roll all night. And then the second verse is, slow down, go down. Gotta get your lovin' one more time. Hold Me, Roll Me. I think roll is a code word here. Slow Riding Woman, You're So Fine. So it is what I thought it was about. It's about the hippity dippity. I never really put A and B together because when I heard that song initially back in the day, I was just a little tiker, as they'd say, a little, I was at everybody's knees and stuff, you know. I was just a little kid. I was just like, oh, slow ride. Okay, I'll just go for a slow ride. Wow, that's very nice. There you go. Cool. Anyway, so if you've ever wanted a Foghat record on color vinyl, a 2 LP, boom, here it is. I wanted to mention it because I don't know. I just had a good time with it. Maybe that segment was death, and I apologize if it was. Let's move on. What else is coming out on vinyl that just got announced? This, for some reason, got announced on Friday, and I've been delinquent in mentioning it. It's a 2 LP Jade vinyl of the first Slipknot record from, 1999, I think, or 2000. It's in a gatefold jacket, includes dress sleeves. Fancy. So you're not getting the just the crappy paper sleeves. You're getting the dress sleeves. You're getting the nice sleeves. Well, as far as like pictures on them and stuff, and then some marketing stickers. Always cool. 25th anniversary edition of the debut with unreleased demos and alternative mixes on the second record. So if you told me to name a Slipknot song, I know they're a big new metal band, NU, but if you told me to name a Slipknot record or a song by Slipknot, I'd be like, well, Iowa? Well, technically that's a record, but I don't know if that was ever a song. Unfortunately, I don't know Slipknot that well. I apologize. So there you go. Estes says you saw Foghat and Walla Walla. All right. Nice. Well, there you go. You can't beat that. I hope it was a free show. I'm just saying. No disrespect intended. No disrespect intended. Chevelle has got a new record coming out. I know that our friend Casey was who used to work in the record store, was a big fan of Chevelle. I think she was a big fan of Chevelle. I'm pretty sure she was a big fan of Chevelle. The new single is Rabbit Hole. I kind of love the name of that song, as I've been hearing it on, I don't know, Liquid Metal or one of those stations on Sirius XM. I'm sure not KUPD. KUPD plays basically old man music, I'd call it. I mean, like, if you're like 75 plus, that's what KUPD, the rock station, plays here. It's like, come on, man. But then there's another station, I think it's 93 something, that plays kind of more modern rock as well. So I've been hearing the song there as well. The new album is called Bright as Blasphemy, and that comes out on August 15th for $28. By the way, the Slipknot record comes out on, September 5th. And that's going to run you $45. It's an indie exclusive on green vinyl. So, okay, they're getting you on that one. And then that Slow Ride record is out on September 12th for $35. $35. That's crazy. Hey, David, good to see you. It is Tuesday, so it only makes sense. Too bad the store wasn't open today or any day at this point. We would have seen David hanging out with us. So, but yeah, miss our conversations, David. So there you go. Katie. All right, Katie. There you go. Very nice. Beautiful. Good to see Katie. Some old names from the old show, but some young names. I should have said young names from the old show. There you go. All right. Just a reminder, we're going exclusively live on YouTube eventually. So if you want to do me a favor and head over to YouTube and hit subscribe, that would be amazing. Starting September 23rd. So you still got plenty of time. It's like 2 months away, but just wanted to give you a heads up and meet Jerry the parakeet. No, he's not a parakeet. He's a parrot. That's right, exactly. Tour announcements. Marilyn Manson. So we had a couple of Marilyn Manson records on the live show previously, and I think Martin bought one of them, and I don't remember who bought the other one. But Marilyn Manson records are incredibly hard to find. People love the live stuff as well. Anytime we got live Tool in, anytime we got live Metallica in, anytime we got live Marilyn Manson in, that would always sell. So that's fantastic. So if you want to go see Marilyn Manson, he's actually coming back around to the States after he's been in Europe. Cleveland, Louisville, Pittsburgh. Let's see. St. Louis, Kansas City, Denver. Well, he's playing all the major cities here. Albuquerque, Phoenix, Anaheim. So it's very West Coast based. I kind of like that. San Diego, Las Vegas, and Sacramento. Speaking of all these teams, how will the Browns do this year in the NFL? I'm going to say the Browns are going to stink. Wow, I've gone on a limb. That's like saying the Jets are going to suck in 2025. Let's see. Pittsburgh, the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback there. Mike Tomlin's a great head coach. So I'd expect them to make the playoffs. St. Louis, they don't have a football team anymore, unfortunately. Kurt Warner forever. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. You can't beat that combination. Probably back in the AFC Championship game. Denver, got the rookie quarterback last year. Bo Nix, probably going to take a step back this year, but we shall see. Phoenix, who's the quarterback in, what is that? Oh, it's the little guy. What's his name? Can't remember the guy's name. The quarterback in Phoenix. I forget his name. Well, whatever. Anaheim, I guess that would be the Rams, you could call that. And they might be okay. San Diego doesn't have a football team anymore, but technically they do. They're the Chargers. Yeah, they got Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. So I think I like Harbaugh's chances to get to the AFC Championship game again this year. Vegas, forget about it. I always say, when I was running the sports website that I had, I always say, and I still say it to this day, the Raiders, where careers go to die. When somebody's career is about to end or should be ending, they always end up signing with the Raiders. Poor Raiders fans. I'm sorry, Kim. And then finally, Sacramento, which I guess would be the 49ers, who always are usually pretty good. So, Kyler Murray. Thank you. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. There you go. Cool. Very nice. David says, I really miss coming around and chatting with everyone. Visited Desi at Uncle Aldo's attic today. Very nice. I know Desi just moved into a new location. And apparently there's not a bunch of boxes on the floor anymore, which is amazing because his old location, he just had so many records. And it was like going through a hoarder's house. You know, you've seen the TV show Hoarders where there's like paths. That's what it was like kind of at Desi's old shop. So I think this is bigger. I'm guessing you enjoyed your visit to Uncle Aldo's attic, Mr. David. So cool. So anyways, yeah, Richard also helping me out and Harold helping me out with Kyler Murray. Yes, the little guy, the Napoleon of the NFL. So there you go. Meaning that he's got a Napoleon complex, nothing else. Is that he just, he's a little guy who thinks he can do it, but in the end, he can't. That's what's unfortunately happened. So anyways, Marilyn Manson, I digress. Ooh, Brett Michaels, Vince Neil. We'll see, because Vince has been canceling shows all this summer. And obviously Motley Crue had the residency scheduled for earlier this year in Vegas that got moved to October, I think, in November. So they got a residency coming up. But this weekend, August 3rd in Bethel, New York, Bret Michaels headlines. That's kind of ironic. If it's Poison, they open for Motley Crue. But if it's Vince Neil, he opens for Bret Michaels. And then Stephen Pearcy, I think, is the first person on the bill for the show. So not too shabby. Yeah, I wish it was Rat, the original lineup, rest in peace, Robin Crosby, opening for Poison, the original lineup. Well, I guess it is the original lineup. I'm guessing we're going to get a 40th anniversary tour of Look What the Cat Dragged In starting next year. And then, then it's Vince Neil. Well, and then Motley Crue, the original lineup with Mick Mars. That's what I'd want. But I know we can't have it all. It is not hoarding, Katie Jane, if it's vinyl. So it's okay. It's A-okay. So there you go. His store is 3 times bigger, and it was a great visit. Did you pick up anything cool? That's cool. 3 times bigger. Well, he definitely needed that. Apparently, the guy's got like 10,000, 20,000 records at his house as well. So hopefully he'll start bringing some of those in. Maybe you found an Ozzy record. Though I know you're not an Ozzy guy. You're a Rush guy. I get it. And kind of like the new wave and stuff. Though your brother loves the hard rock. I remember that, David. I remember that. So there you go. My niece is in town, by the way. She's going to help me refocus the background here. So you're not going to see a door in the future. I think that might happen this weekend. We'll see. We've got the Rush gift from our friend David. And then got a bunch of other stuff we're going to hang up to kind of make the background seem a lot cooler. Put some lighting back there. So there you go. All right. What else as far as Extreme? coming up. They've got some tour dates. They're in New Haven, Connecticut. No, that's not New Haven. It's New Hampshire. They're also in Connecticut. Well, wait, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and then with Def Leppard at in Virginia Beach. So some shows at the end of August coming up. Extreme is a great band. Jen's got a chance to see him a couple of years ago. Well, maybe it was like a year ago on the most recent record, the 6 record tour. And they were great. And forget about Nuno Bettencourt. I mean, this guy was the all-star among all-stars at the Ozzy Back to the Beginning Festival. It was insanely good. Oh my God, I love Nuno. He is so good. Maybe I always appreciated Nuno Bettencourt, but I think I appreciate Nuno more now that unfortunately Eddie is no longer with us, Mr. Edward Van Halen. Rest in peace to the great Eddie Van Halen. But I loved Eddie. And I just kind of was just like, okay, Eddie's my favorite guitarist. Nobody else is going to touch him, so I didn't even bother. And you start listening to Nuno's playing, and it's just like, holy crap, this guy is so good. So with Eddie gone, Nuno in my mind, I know there's a lot of talented guitarists out there. Steve Vai. There is Joe Satriani. And then, of course, there's living legends like Eric Clapton. But dollar for dollar, I'm going Nuno, man. Nobody better than Nuno these days. So there you go. Cool. All right. A couple of things. Estes mentions Rat's first album was awesome. Is that the Out of the Cellar you're referring to or the EP? Either way, I think you're safe in saying that, Estes. So nice. And then Katie says, I found the first pressing of Mommy's Little Monster in my attic a couple of weeks ago. Very nice. So now I don't know what that is in reference to. So I need to, is that Marilyn Manson, Mommy's Little Monster? Social Distortion. Oh, yes. Okay. I know that album cover. I remember that album cover. Well, that's a hell of a find. How did it look? Was it in pretty good condition, Katie? So that's very nice. Oh, George Lynch is a great guitarist too. Yeah. And I loved George Lynch back in the day. My guitarist when I was learning how to play guitar, haven't played that much. So there is a guitar right there, I guess. Where is it? Right there. I haven't played that much in the last 30 years. I love George Lynch. I loved Eddie Van Halen. And I love Brad Gillis. And then I also love Steve Clark. I just love the riffs, man, that he wrote for Leppard back in the day. They were just so amazing. But when it came to soloing, because Steve Clark was more of a riff master, he wrote just killer riffs and stuff, and structures of the songs were so good. Billy's Got a Gun. Come on. Photograph. Come on. Exactly. But as far as guys that could just play guitar and the solos, man, Eddie, George Lynch, and of course, the great Brad Gillis, who was in Ozzy's band for Speak of the Devil after Randy Rhoads passed away. So there you go. I do not have any thoughts on the Revenge of Alice Cooper because I've never been the biggest Alice Cooper fan. And when I did like Alice Cooper, I loved his solo stuff. So like going back and bringing back Michael Bruce and the rest of the guys is great. I think that's amazing. But do I have any plans to check out that record? Probably not, even though I love Alice. It's just not my style of music for whatever reason. It never really clicked with me for some reason. Just like Lita Ford never clicked with me. It's just like one of those artists that so there you go. Very nice. All right. And then the last on the tour dates, let's see who was, Alien Ant Farm. I love these guys. I don't know. I might be alone in loving them, but they got some U.S. dates, including a Phoenix date coming up. Well, actually a Mesa date. And then there's a Tucson date for Richard, if he's still hanging out with us. So very nice. A lot of basically west of the Mississippi dates, except for the Syracuse, New York date. That's a record that I would love to see get repressed. Well, not repressed, pressed for the first time on vinyl. That first Alien Ant Farm record. It's never been pressed on vinyl. Movies is on it. Smooth Criminal, of course. And Smooth Criminal has like 600 million plays on Spotify. It's crazy. So there you go. Mike says the new Alice Cooper record is a good record. I should give it a listen. I will. I'll listen to it tomorrow. So I love doing this kind of stuff when I'm building out the show every day. I like taking requests. So if you got any requests, like I'm telling you to do homework on I forget what song I was telling you to do the homework on earlier, but I'll check out the Alice Cooper record because, yeah, it's cool that the whole band is back together, the guys that are still with us. So there you go. Did they misspell Tucson? Oh, they did. Tuscon. That's easy to do, I guess, in some ways, but there you go. A reminder, if you're digging the show, smash the like button. I always appreciate it. And the biggest favor you can do me as I try to spread the news about the show is go ahead and share it with some friends and family, whether it's a young person or whether it's someone your age. Very cool. Kind of, we talk about the whole spectrum of music. I really love the 80s and the 90s stuff and the 2000 stuff. I mean, it's hard to talk about the 2010s, I guess, in some ways, but there's been some good bands that have come out then. Falling in Reverse, 3 Days Grace, stuff like that. And then the 2020s, we've seen some bands appear. So I've got to bring rock back, man. We got to conquer rock. Unfortunately, with Ozzy passing away, maybe that's the gateway. Maybe Ozzy passing away will turn the tide and everybody's like, Ozzy was great. We need more rock in our lives. I mean, well, my days are always filled with rock, though I love a little new wave. Duran Duran in excess. That gets me going there. So there you go. Cool. The ghost of Hulk Hogan. All aboard indeed, baby. When Hulkamania is running wild, you know it's running wild. Miss the Hulkster. All right, vinyl of the day. It is this record. You're going to love this. See if you can see what Jen and I paid for this back in 2016. Let me see if I can get this onto the... I'm not doing that really well. There. Is the camera focusing? Yeah, there you go. Still in the shrink, though we have opened it up. And it has the hype sticker intact. And yeah, it was $24.99. And yeah. It was a Universal Music release as well. I bet you if Universal does a 35th, this was the 25th anniversary edition. I bet you if they do a 35th anniversary next year of like this record and Mechanical Resonance, which would be 40th anniversary. Oh my God. Hopefully that Tesla catalog will be repressed next year. With this record, Mechanical Resonance, and what was the second one? Oh, Great Radio Controversy. And then give me a box set with Bust a Nut in it as well. And then 5-man acoustical jam. Boom. Chicken Dinner says chicken dinner good. Anyways, I used to play the hell out of this record on CD back in the day, playing Super Mario Brothers, Changing the Weather, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Love that. Man at a Time, Edison's Medicine. Are you kidding me? That song is so great. Don't De-Rock Me is good. Call It What You Want. Song and Emotion, dedicated to the aforementioned Steve Clark of Def Leppard. Government Personnel is pretty good. Freedom Slaves is actually a really good song. What You Give is on here as well. And there you go. So this was a 2 LP. If you're looking for a copy of this, you should have bought one some, 10 years ago, I guess, because these days on eBay or Discogs, you're probably going to be paying upwards of $100 for that thing, unfortunately. So, but once again, we have the 40th anniversary of Mechanical Resonance coming next year, 35th anniversary of this record. So the Tesla box set is what I want. We had a Dokken box set. We had a Rat box set. We had, what else did we have? We had the Motley Crue box set, among others. And so, yeah, there you go. Not too shabby. Not too shabby indeed. All right, let me get to the chat here. What You Give, words to live by, indeed. I concur indubitably. Yes, I do love Tesla. I do love Tesla. I love Queensryche a little more. I would probably take Queensryche over Tesla, but that doesn't mean that I don't love Tesla because they're fantastic. Richard says he just got mine from England for $100. Well, there you go. Not too bad. That's the going right these days, so... There you go. I was just at a record store and all Ozzy and Black Sabbath were sold out. Yeah, I still have contacts with our distributors. So when Ozzy passed away that day, I went about 2 hours afterwards, and all the record stores and all the other companies out there, whether it's Kmart or does Kmart still exist? Walmart, Amazon. Well, maybe not Amazon. They probably got their own stock. They basically wiped out the distributors. There was nothing left for Ozzy stuff. So, but it was always hard to get Ozzy stuff in. There's so many of those great Ozzy records. Ultimate Sin, waiting for a repress of that. What's No Rest for the Wicked, and possibly hard record to get, unless you get the box set. And the box sets sell out immediately. That Amy unboxing that we did, oh my God, so good. And then what else? Oh, the last thing is the Osmosis record, which is a tremendous record. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, even the easiest stuff to get was Bark at the Moon in some ways, and then what else was easy to get? The first two records were also pretty easy to get, and Scream just got reissued on the Ozzy stuff. The Black Sabbath stuff, you never have any problems getting that in stock, but I'm sure that'll be repressed by Warner Brothers and Rhino pretty quick. But it's those Ozzy solo records. I'm guessing now that we've had two instances of the Ozzy box set in the last 4 or 5 months. I'm guessing all of the records individually are going to start getting pressed. So there you go. Oh, Harold, you got the Ozzy box set. Ooh, very nice. That is so sexy. That is very nice. Katie says, I just bought the 2 soundtracks, Repo Man and Dogs in Space. Repo Man, cool. I have no idea what Dogs in Space is. Dogs in Space. I got to check this out. TV series, is that right? Dogs in Space. Oh my God. I love the art on this. It is fantastic. Is that the Dogs in Space TV series that was on where was this produced? Netflix, I guess, maybe. So I don't know. That's super cool. There you go. Oh, Blizzard of Oz. Yeah, that was a great record as well. Whatnot Dealer had the Fierce Few Ozzy at regular price, and I was shocked. Well, that's pretty good. It's good that people aren't taking advantage of that by jacking up the prices. I know one record store in the United States that, I know actually a couple record stores in the United States that always took advantage of that and jacked up the prices. We never did that. If we put something on the show, it was a natural flow. If somebody wanted to bid on it, they could. And if they didn't want to bid on it, they didn't have to. But we never did that with new vinyl. So if we were selling Bark at the Moon, we'd be selling it for whatever, $32.99 or $28.99, the retail price. We never did any kind of price gouging on new vinyl. We wanted to make a margin and stay open. but we never did that on new vinyl. Some people would argue, wow, I went over to Zia Records and they had it $1 cheaper. Well, why don't you go over there then and live in that dust infested world called Zia Records, where they've never had a carpet cleaning in their life. Due respect to Zia, I don't mind Zia. Actually, there's some decent Zias, but some of them are like, okay, poots, to quote Tony Soprano. Anyway, so there you go. Michael Hutchins movie, not the series. Okay. There you go. Dogs in Space. I know that they're reissuing a Michael Hutchins record, I actually read, but I'm not familiar with it. So, Richard and Zia, yeah. If I wanted to be waited on by someone with all kinds of shit in their face, I'd go over to Zia. Exactly. So, and that's what sometimes I want. So, it works out for me. So, but anyways, all right. Well, I'm very jealous, Harold, that you got the Ozzy box set. That is super cool. And yeah, so that's the big show for. Come on, man. Actually, I went pretty long today. I'm having fun. I want to expand the show. As the show grows, I want to expand it more and more. So there you go. And I love talking to you throughout the show. And of course, if you missed the show, you can go back and rewatch it on YouTube anytime you want. Just search for Rock This Town Records or Rock This Town Live. And then you can also check out the podcast. So if you're on your way to work, or if you're working out, or if you're just laying in bed trying to fall asleep, I used to joke because I listened to different podcasts, whether it was Dave Ramsey or Joe Rogan or whomever. When it comes to podcasts, Bill Maher, I know he does a podcast as well. And I always joke, sometimes you listen to podcasts in the shower, so it's like you're showering with that podcast host, or you're going to bed with that podcast host because you're putting the headphones or something at night, to fall asleep. So, anyways, probably TMI there. So I apologize for that. So there you go. Cool. The record store was based out of Gilbert, Arizona, but we actually closed it a few months ago. It was time to say goodbye. We had a lot of fun. We used to do a live show too on Facebook and YouTube, and this is kind of the extension of that. But I've got a background in radio and television, so I kind of wanted to do something like this and talk about rock music and kind of everything in the that surrounds rock music. So there you go. So, Hulkster, I appreciate you hanging out with us. Richard, Katie, Estes, David, Mike, everybody. I love doing it. Have such a good time. We're here every Monday through Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 5 Pacific, 7 if you're in the Central Time Zone. And yeah. And once again, yeah, you can rewatch the show on YouTube and make sure you subscribe on YouTube and smash the like button. That's all I'll ask. Or if you could tell a friend too, that would be awesome as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Probably more information about the Ozzy thing. And perhaps we'll have an announcement on the Metallica at the Sphere. So we'll see what happens then. So we're 50 minutes in. It's pretty good. I like it. I like just having a good time all the time. I am like, once again, Viv Savage, who unfortunately, I don't know if you heard that, the keyboard player in Spinal Tap, the actor who played him just recently died like last month. So yeah, no more Viv Savage. Have a good time all of the time. Ghost of Hulk Hogan. You're welcome, brother. All right, I love that. I'm old school Hulk Hogan. I'm going back to the AWA. If you know your Hulk Hogan, Ghost of Hulk Hogan. I'm AWA. Mean Gene Okerlund. You know, Jesse Ventura. All those guys. Jumping Jim Brunzell. Greg Gagne. Oh, well, good times at the El Royale. Have yourself a wonderful night. I appreciate you hanging out. See you tomorrow night.